I think they've shown, just how valuable they can be. It's hard without pads, but I think you get an idea of, just how valuable they're going to be up front. And then you got guys like Larry, who came in and, he's been great. Knows the system already. Is versatile. Can play multiple positions. So it's been good to just be around these guys. Understand them, let them understand me, and the value of getting those reps together.
As a leader, as a captain, what are you trying to make sure you guys accomplish this week? I know it's just a couple days of practice, right? But what do you want to make sure you lead into before you get to training camp?
Yeah, I think just the connectedness of what we are, who we are, what we want to be when we come back. The standard for how we operate. That's the main thing I think that we get out of this is really dialing in on the details of what we do and how we do it and how we get it done. So you go into this little break and have time to get away for a minute, but then to really lock in and get ready for training camp and for NFL season.
Sean actually brought that up a little bit yesterday too. We talked about kind of getting connected. Is that a football thing? Is that a team building thing? What does that mean to you? Is it more on the field or off the field?
I think both. I think you kind of hit on it. It's a team aspect. That's part of the reason why we go away for training camp. Part of the reason why you have everybody here for mandatory minicamp is it's hard to come by reps with everybody together, and any chance you get, we're going to take advantage of it. So to have the opportunity to be out here with the guys, learning, growing, figuring out each other, and really just building within the system, I think it's so valuable. Come time for training camp and then lead into the season.
You talked about building that bond. Does this feel new to you with how many new players are on defense? I mean, I think it's 20 guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it feels new. Honestly, it feels like every year is a new year. You have guys that that have been here, but also, every year you have new guys that you're learning and, trying to show who you are as well. So I think that's the mindset that we've all had is, I'm here to prove myself to them, and they're here to prove themselves to me, and all the way around, all the way up to Coach McDermott. We're all trying to establish our roles and who we're going to be leading into the season. So it's fun. It's a challenge every single year to try to get as close as we can. We were a super close team last year, and that's the goal, is to build on that all the way throughout the season.
How have you seen Max Harrison grow in his first few weeks here? Bobby Babich said the game is starting to slow down for him already.
Yeah, for sure. He's made a ton of plays already. I think you kind of see just his energy, his effort, and then his playmaking ability. Honestly, he's been a guy that since he got here, he kind of stepped in and has made plays and done things the right way, and has been so positive and had a great attitude every single day. So it's fun to be around guys like that.
What's your impression of what Coach Nielsen brings in terms of his different perspective and the impact he's had so far?
Yeah, I think the thing for me, kind of getting the outside perspective is just his level of detail within what we're doing. We have some games that we run up front where linebackers are involved, and he kind of takes the charge on that, and the level of detail is incredible. He was up in front of the team today and kind of gave a detailed account of how we want to get things done, how we want to run certain games, and how we want to pressure, how we want to blitz, and you can tell he's just very detail oriented in how he wants to present the job and how the job's supposed to be done.